So, hello everybody and welcome. Yes, welcome back here at BSN Network. Here back here, BSN Network. This is the BSN Network podcast here today. It is Monday, January 24th. Hope everybody's having a day so far and a good rest of their day yesterday. It is, in fact, Monday, January 24th here today, coming off another big weekend in sports. I mean, just incredible, and I mean incredible divisional round games throughout the NFL. Arguably, just for my sake in my lifetime, probably the best game I've seen in a really long time, and one of the best games I've ever seen, that I can remember was last night, Sunday Night Football, Bills-Chiefs, just wild back and forth, 42-36, Chiefs get the win, and they move on and host the Cincinnati Bengals next weekend. And I just want to make this clear. This is going to be a shorter podcast today due to timing, so I'm only going to be able to do a 30-minute podcast, so I'm going to get through this intro quickly, then get to the games, try to my best to give you as much as I can on the games, and tomorrow I'll be back to a normal, whatever hour, whatever plus podcast. So today it will only be 30 minutes. So I just want to make this clear. The wild card games were terrible, and I know I came in here on Monday in the wild card games, and I was like, all right, I'm going to be a glass half full kind of guy and say, okay, well, I'm going to be a glass half full guy and say the Raiders-Bengals was good. At least New England's out. Niners-Cowboys was great. And you're like, okay, as a fan, Steelers were out. I don't like the Steelers. So I was like, okay, there's some positives there, right? And, I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't as bad as people make it to be. Well, this weekend was showed us how bad Wild Card Weekend was and how good this weekend of football was. 3 game-winning field goals. Titans-Bengals, game-winning field goal for the Bengals. Niners-Packers, game-winning field goal for the Niners. Rams-Buccaneers, crazy comeback by the Buccaneers. Game-winning field goal by Mcadoo and the Rams. And then last night, Sunday night, I don't even need to tell you what happened. It was wild. It was crazy. To even describe what happened in last night's game was wild. So, craziness. I'm going to get to it here in a very short amount of time. As for, New York sports, a quick rundown there. Like I said, only going to be about a 25 to 30-minute podcast today, just due to, timing. Like I said, I fit these podcasts in around my schedule, so, it's whenever I can find time to do these. So today, it's going to be a shorter podcast, but I'm still going to, pump out content and get that out to you guys, so you guys can watch and hopefully enjoy. So Rangers on tonight against the Kings. They were able to get the win on Saturday night against the Panthers. Took a tough loss on Friday night in Carolina against the Hurricanes. Started Georgie and net. We just didn't play well enough that night. And then Kings, we started off slow. It kind of looked like the front, back end of a back-to-back road trip. You get in late at night. You got to get, second half of the back-to-back. We looked slow to start. Scored 6 unanswered goals. Chris Kreider is the star of the week in the NHL. 7 points in the last 3 games. 5 goals, 2 assists in the last 3 games, including a hat trick against the Coyotes. Nets took a tough loss last night. Again, just not good enough defense. Not much more I could say. Knicks were able to get the win yesterday at the Garden. They play the second half of a back-to-back tonight. This time on the road in Cleveland against a very young and exciting Cavaliers team. So we'll see what the Knicks can do. Nets have a day off. Rangers are at home against the Kings, and the Islanders as well have a day off today. So Knicks on tonight in Cleveland, Rangers at the Garden against the Kings, and the Nets day off today. They will host the Lakers with Anthony Davis. Yes, tomorrow night back at Barclays Center after the long road trip. So no Kyrie tomorrow, as we all know, only plays away games. So gonna have to find a way. Harden's gonna have to find a way to stop the the Lakers, a team that has struggled, but they're gonna get AD back. Expected to play tomorrow night. So Nets gotta find something on the defensive end. Just you put up 125 points. You lose by 11. That can't happen. That cannot happen. You score 125 points in a basketball game, you should win that game. There's no excuses. There's no way around it. So Nets got to find a way to bounce back tomorrow night. All right, so just quickly, NFL recap. You know how it is. I'll get to the games as quickly as I can, and then we'll get to the New York sports update. Like I mentioned, Knicks tonight in Cleveland. Nets day off. Rangers at the Garden against the Kings, and the Islanders as well. A day off tonight. Alrighty, with all that being said, a lot to get to here in about 20 to 25 minutes. With all that being said, this is BSN Podcast, and let's get right into it. Alrighty, so like I mentioned, crazy weekend of football, and as crazy as it was, I still went 2-2 on my game pick. So I am 2-2 overall now on my NFL pick. So went 2-2 in the divisional round. I am now 7-3 overall. Throughout the playoffs, 10 playoff games in, I am 7-3, so not bad. But 2-2 this weekend, which moves my overall record to 178-104, and my playoff record to 70. So 7-3 is my playoff record, and overall 178-104. So there's 3 games remaining in the NFL season, the 2 championship games this weekend on Sunday, and then you got the Super Bowl. So I need to find a way to get 2 of my next 3 picks correct to hit 180. I would be very happy to do that. The best I could do is 181 if I get the final 3 picks right of the season. So my hope is if I at least win one game, if I at least get 1 pick correct this week, which I'm going to go, this week if I could get 1 pick correct, then that would set up the Super Bowl to be my decider whether or not I hit 180, which would be, nice to do that. But anyway, not all about the game picks, just want to throw that out there. 3 games left in the season, 178, 104. The goal is to get to 180. We'll see how it all plays out. Alright, so crazy weekend of football. And like I said, this weekend of the divisional round games made the wild card games look that much worse. And I mean, we kind of knew the wild card games weren't great. But I know I said, I came on here last weekend, like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, to start the show today. And I was like, okay, it wasn't terrible. You saw the Patriots get blown out. I think a lot of people like that. You saw a Raiders-Bengals game that came down to the final 7 seconds. You saw a Niners-Cowboys game that, was just, there was a lot of drama, and that's always exciting, especially when if you have no dog in the fight, and there's a lot of drama for, one of the teams. It's like, you're just glad that drama's not involving your team because that's a negative, right? So there was a lot of drama with the Cowboys and the run, and then I saw the Steelers get crushed, which I was happy about because I can't stand the Steelers. So all that kind of stuff happened, and it was like, okay, it wasn't terrible. But this weekend of football, like I mentioned, just made Wild Card Weekend look brutal. And it's like, I saw some of the best football I've seen in a really long time this weekend. I'm going to get started with last night's game, as a matter of fact, because I'm just going to start with that. I know I usually start with Saturday going into Sunday, but I just want to start with last night's game. And that's the Kansas City Chiefs defeating the Buffalo Bills 42-36 in overtime. I don't even know how to explain this game. A back and forth game early on. You had, it was a 14-14 game going into halftime. You come out of the second half, and it's, you go into the fourth quarter. Bills are down by 2. It's 23-21 going into the fourth. The Bills lead, Chiefs lead, Bills lead, Chiefs lead. Gabriel Davis, oh my goodness, 201 yards and 4 touchdowns. And to be honest with you, Stephon Diggs didn't even do anything. Stephon Diggs had 3 catches for 7 yards. It was Gabriel Davis that was the big storyline for the Bills yesterday. That was 10 targets, 8 catches, 201 yards, and 4 touchdowns, a postseason record. We're not just talking about this season. We're not talking about Bills, right? We're talking about an NFL postseason record, 4 touchdowns by Gabriel Davis. And it was like wherever Josh Allen was throwing the football, it was going to Davis, and Davis was catching it. It was for a whole lot of yards, and most of the time it was for a touchdown. That's the way it seemed. There was a stretch there where back-to-back throws to Davis were touchdowns, and the Chiefs just weren't even guarding him, and they weren't even they were all over the place. They were in shambles. It looked like their secondary couldn't stop them. Then you had the starter go out, and DeAndre Baker, the former Giant, who had some off-the-field issue, comes in, and he can't stop him. It's like Gabriel Davis had a great game, and I just want to make that clear because all the drama that happened in that game, Gabriel Davis, the storyline has kind of gone under the radar, and I want to make that clear how good of a game he had. And it looks even better on paper. 201 yards, 4 touchdowns. 25.1 was his average yards per catch. So 25 yards was the average the time he caught the ball. His longest was 75 yards. So a huge, huge play. And with all the drama today, rightfully so, Gabriel Davis has kind of gone under the radar. So I just want to start that off with Gabriel Davis with a great game. But the final 2 minutes of this game were wild. And I saw a stat earlier, and there's been so many stats in this game. This game was like all over the place. I saw a stat earlier today. It was something about like in the final 2 minutes, Patrick Mahomes threw like 133 yards. Or it was something like that. You had the big play to Tyreek Hill. Then you had the big drive to whatever. You had the big, 13 seconds left, which I'm going to get to that in a second. I mean, just wild, just crazy. And another thing, too, and I know I might sound like I'm bouncing in so many different directions, but that's kind of the way this game went. I mean, there was craziness. As a fan watching that game, I was like, you know me, I'm a Jet fan. I've been a Jet fan my whole life. I'm not a Chiefs or a Bills fan. I did predict the Bills to win, so, I did predict the Bills to win. Even though I'm a Jet fan, I actually was kind of hoping to see the Bills win. I was hoping to see the Bills win. I know I'm a Jet fan, and I'm not supposed to root for them, but I like Josh Allen a lot. I think he's a really good quarterback. I just too, I think the whole story and stuff. I also was super excited. I also wanted to see a Josh Allen, Joe Burrow matchup because we've already seen Mahomes Burrow. I wanted to see a Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs battle. That would be a lot of fun. That's also what I wanted to see. But anyway, back to the point with the game. Josh Allen with an incredible game. Just incredible. And I'm going to make this claim. And you could comment. I would love to hear your comments in the comment section down below. I think Josh Allen, after watching last night's game and as a fan that's in the AFC East and I see him play 2 times a year, I think Josh Allen, from not only what I've seen when he plays up against the Jets, but especially last week and even throughout the season highlights and all that stuff, especially last night against the Chiefs on the road in Kansas City. Josh Allen, I think, is one of the best, if not the best, dual-threat quarterbacks we have seen in decades. 2 decades. I mean, we have seen, you can make the argument, since Steve Young. And I saw that last night. And I'm going to throw that take out there. You might disagree, but I don't think it's crazy to say Josh Allen is one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks that we've ever seen play. And most recently seen play. I can make the argument. I know it's early on, but right now, Josh Allen looks like he's going to be even better than what Steve Young once was in terms of still dual threat. I don't mean like Super Bowls and overall, but in terms of being able to run the ball, in terms of being able to take big hits. I mean, Josh Allen at times looks more of like just something about like his running ability better than Lamar Jackson. I don't want to say that because Lamar Jackson's all crazy, but like it's just the way he does, and he takes hits and he just grinds and he grinds and he grinds, and it's just it's fun to watch, and it's something special. And you gotta, if you're a Bills fan, you see that, you gotta thank the Bills and the front office and Brian Daboll and the organization for surrounding him with all the right pieces. His true colors have come out. It really has. And for a kid that was so at Wyoming, was such a question in the draft. The draft was headlined by Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. You had Josh Allen get picked 7th overall, and it was like, Wyoming, not much draft talent around him, didn't play against much draft talent. There was so many questions. It was like, is this really the guy? But he has shown it, and he showed it again last night. Now, to the Kansas City Chiefs. Just incredible. Patrick Mahomes, 378 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, got sacked twice, a rating of 123.1. He did Patrick Mahomes things last night. He did. Not much I could say about him, because it's Patrick Mahomes. It's what he does. He's insane. I still stand by. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I know a lot of people were like, oh, what's going have people finally found a way to stop the Kansas City? Get out of here. Get out of here with that. The Kansas City Chiefs are the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. And the reality is Patrick Mahomes is going to dominate the league for the next 10 to 15 years. There's no way around it. And we saw it again last night. I can't, say this enough, that Patrick Mahomes is gonna be a true threat in the AFC, in the NFL for the next 10 to 15 years. I know a lot of people at the beginning of the season when they started off slow and are like, oh, is this where the Chiefs stop? Like, is this, has teams finally found a way? No. 42 points last night against statistically one of the best defenses in the league. They showed it again. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's at home. It's Arrowhead. Tough place to play. Tough place to beat them. And they showed again last night. It's not going to be easy for the Bengals to go in there. I do believe in the Bengals, but it's not going to be easy at all. Now to the final couple minutes, and then I'll get to the other games. I just think this game, I just want to go really into detail in this game because I think this is one of the best games I've seen in a really long time, maybe I've ever seen, was what we witnessed last night on Sunday Night Football. Well, you could call it Sunday Night Football, whatever, it was on CBS, it wasn't on NBC. Either way, I know there's so much contemplation, contemplating in hindsight 2020. We all know, right? Especially in sports. What if, shoulda, coulda, woulda. What if this happened? What if they did this? I don't want to hear about the narrative of, Bills left too much time on the clock. I don't want to hear that. I do not want to hear that. 13 seconds on the clock for a lot of offenses is absolutely no time. It's Patrick Mahomes, it's Travis Kelce, it's Tyreek Hill, and the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want to hear, they scored too early. No. You scored with 13 seconds left. If that's pretty much against any other team in the NFL, maybe only outside of Tom Brady and maybe Aaron Rodgers, although they play like complete garbage on Saturday, and we'll get to that. Maybe outside of only those two quarterbacks and obviously Patrick Mahomes, which we witnessed last night, there's not another offense out there that can go 60 yards in 13 seconds. There's just not. And we saw it last night, but that's because that's a rare occurrence from an offense. So I don't want to hear that. What I am here today questioning, and when the game ended I did question is, why didn't they squib kick it? I really, really wonder that. I'm going to be honest, I haven't heard anything on it. I did watch Josh Allen's press conference because I did want to hear what he had to say. I didn't watch Sean McDermott's press conference or anybody else. So I don't know if it was just a thing in the heat of the moment, like 13 seconds left. All you got to do is just stop them. I don't know what it was. I don't know why they didn't squib kick it. Even if you squib kick it and they bounce on it right away, it takes 5 seconds off the clock. So instead of 13 seconds, it's 8 seconds, and I don't care who you got, your offense is just not the same. Because then you're asking to run about 2 plays to get you 40 yards in 8 seconds. It's just not going to happen. Just time constraints, it can't happen. You can't get 40 yards in 8 seconds. Unless if it's one big play, let's say you get a chunk for 20 in about 4 seconds. Well, 4 seconds, okay. What, you're asking for another 20? The Chiefs would have had to force up a Hail Mary. You also have the chance of having, some unexperienced player pick up the football and maybe not know what to do with it and either waste more time or maybe fumble or bobble it or something like that. And the Bills recover and boom. There's 5 seconds left. The Chiefs don't even have the ball. Bills just have to kneel it out. So a lot more could have happened to the Bills' favor squib kicking it than it not. But I think the Bills too. I think that not that they were easy on the Chiefs, but 13 seconds left, you just took the wind out of the souls of them. Like it's almost like you just sucked the energy right out of that stadium when they scored. It's like, do you just go with it? You just got to stop them. 13 seconds, and we're moving on, and we're hosting an AFC Championship game in Buffalo against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. But that didn't happen. So that's going to be a question for a long time. And I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what the Bills need to do. I think the Bills are there. I just think it's a matter of, just finishing things out. I mean, last season they got off to an early lead in the AFC Championship game, couldn't finish it out. This year again, got off to a nice start, finished strong, and then they blow it with 13 seconds. It's like the Bills are right there. I don't think they need to do much. They're just there. They just need to finish. They just need to close out these games. They were 13 seconds away from hosting a playoff game again in Buffalo against Joe Burrow and the Bengals, and that's the reality of it. So, look, I'm not going to sit here and say, the Bills need this, the Bills need to do this, they're not, The Bills are there. It's just a matter of finishing. Like, they have the talent on their roster. They have Diggs, Gabriel Davis. If he can do that for you, I'm not saying four touchdowns, but I mean, if he could find a way to, Gabriel Davis, right? I'm just gonna, Dawson Knox, Singletary had a nice solid year, especially down the stretch. They have the pieces. Maybe the only thing they're missing is a true run game. Maybe go out and pay a little bit more for a running back. Maybe that's it. But last night, it's not like they were lacking something. Like last season, you could definitely tell they definitely needed to bring in, a different defense. They definitely needed to be better on defense, and they definitely needed an edge, and that was clear. They did bring that in, still couldn't beat them. I think it's just a matter of, getting your opportunity. I don't think the Bills are this close. Maybe it is a small mover here. It's just they're not there. Like they're there, they just can't finish. I mean, they were 13 seconds away from beating the Chiefs. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. The only thing I could think of for the Bills is in the offseason, maybe you go out and spend money for a true running back. Maybe that's a possibility. I don't know. Singletary showed some positive signs down the stretch. So who knows? But look, great game. One of the best games I've ever seen in a long time. And, for the Bills, it's on to next year. And for the Chiefs, you host Joe Burrow and the Bengals, who got you the first time this season. Will they get you again? We'll see. next Sunday. Alrighty, let's get to the other games quickly. We're only got about 10 minutes left, so I'll try to go as quickly as I can. Rams and Buccaneers. I don't know what it is with teams, and I've always said this. I don't know what it is with teams making Brady come back into the game. Like, the Rams were up, 27-3. And here comes Tom Brady. Was it 27-3 or was it 27? It was 27-3. It was 27-3, and here comes Tom Brady scoring 24 unanswered points, 10 in the third, 14 in the fourth. And it ultimately came down to the Cooper Kupp game-winning, Cooper Kupp game tying with that big catch, and then they had the game-winning field goal. So that's what, that. It's just wild. It really is wild as to what happened. I just don't know. Like, every time a team plays Brady, it's like they're winning by a lot. They get off to a quick start. And, oh, here comes Brady. Here comes the Bucs. Oh, God. It's a 3-point game. Oh, my God. It's tied. The Rams look like they're going to collapse like the Falcons did. But they didn't. And they just hung on by a string. And, look, I don't know how much to buy into this, because I know some people say, I don't think this is going to affect the Rams' performance next week. I know some people say, they finish weak. Is that concern you go into next week? No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. Teams do it all the time. Teams almost blow games all the time. They come back and, maybe it gives them a little bit more energy. But I'll tell you what, this can't happen to the Rams again. Like, if the Rams are let's say the Rams get to the Super Bowl and they're playing the Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes is, got 20, and you're up 27-3 on Patrick Mahomes, and he comes out and makes it a game. That can't happen, because there's a good chance they then win. So they almost blew it. They got it. Cam Akers, just all he had to do was hold on to the football. I know that's easier said than done, but just two hands over the football, just shoulder, just go down. All you need to do is just waste time, burn clock, fumbled it, bang. Buccaneers got it back. That was like the ultimate collapse. Like when you were trying to burn out the clock. When you were just 7 yards away from ending the game and you fumble it. Like, that's the ultimate what if. Like, that's the ultimate fan base just hoping something happens, and it actually happened. That's just a football god saying, Tom Brady, here you go. We're going to give you the ball and you have a chance to tie it. We're not going to help you score. We're just going to help you have the opportunity. That's the football gods. That's all they're doing. They always do it to Tom Brady. And look, I don't know what to say. I know there's a lot of rumors going around. You'll get my thoughts more on it as the offseason goes on. Like I said, I only got about 8-9 minutes left here, so I'm gonna be as quick as I can. But like I mentioned with Brady, I don't know how much to believe about the retirement rumors. I don't know how much to believe of it. I think it is definitely a possibility that he could think about it. Is he really gonna want to leave with a sour taste in his mouth? There's also that side of me that says he's such a competitor and he's going to want to come back and win it all again and finish it out like that. There's also that side of me that, not that he's going to give up, but he doesn't need to prove anything more. Like, what does he need to do? Win another Super Bowl and just prove that he can win when he's 70 years old? Like, he doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't. It's not like he's still chasing somebody else for most titles, or he doesn't need to prove anything. He's proven anything. He's the GOAT. He's the best quarterback of all time. There's no debate. So there is maybe that side of me, too, that says maybe he hangs it up. His kids are also getting older, which a lot of players always say, family time and when you're playing is really tough. So as kids, as his kids are getting older, if he keeps playing, that time with them is going to, diminish big time. But who knows? I think he will take some time. If I had to guess, I would say he comes back. If I had to. If I had to put a money on it, right? If I had to guess, I would say he comes back. I'm not saying without 100% confidence, though, because this is the first time ever we've really heard these rumors. Like last year, no debate he was coming back. Year before that, no debate he was coming back. He said he wanted to play to 45. He's going to be 45. So maybe this is truly the time, but we'll see. He's still playing at a high level, so who knows? We'll see what happens. Him and Aaron Rodgers, two big questions. That's the next one here. The Niners defeated the Packers, which is just wild. Because the way this game started, the Packers just marched down the field and looked like they were going to toast the Niners. And the Niners receivers and tight ends can't catch. And it's like the Packers had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity going to the half with a 7-0 lead. It was like, oh my goodness. I could not believe. Watching that game, like Niners fans, I knew how they feel. Because, I don't want to try to compare, divisional round in Green Bay at Lambeau to the Jets' Week 18 game in Buffalo that meant absolutely nothing for the Jets. But I know how that feels for the Niners fans. Like, to start that game, the Packers scored quickly. They got off to a quick start. Bills-Jets game, Bills scored quickly, got off to a quick start. Then the defense started to hold them. And the offense couldn't do anything. And you went into half, and I'm sitting there watching that game going into halftime, and I'm like, how in the world are the Niners in this game? How are they in this game? And then it's 7-3, and then it's 10-3, and it's like, okay, they go for it on fourth down, and then you have the block punt. It's 10-10. And then the Packers, can't get it. And then, here come Robbie Gould and the Niners, and they kick the game-winning field goal. I mean, just wild. And this is 49ers football. It's not pretty. It's not flashy. It's not like, to be honest with you, three out of the four remaining teams are all flashy. Cooper Kupp, OBJ, and Stafford, their opponent coming up. Then you go to the AFC, and we all know Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, the offense, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill. They're all flashy. They're flashy teams. These no-look throws. You know what the Niners are? They're an old-school, ground-and-pound, rely heavily on the defense, go on the road in a tough environment, and win games. That's what the Niners are. They are a definition of a tough, gritty football team, and they showed that on Saturday. And man, oh man, the questions going into the offseason for the Green Bay Packers are at an all-time high. Look, Matt LaFleur rather. Sorry, I keep calling him Mike LaFleur. Ever since the Jets hired Mike LaFleur as their offense coordinator, I keep calling the Packers coach Mike LaFleur because that's his brother. They're brothers. But anyway, back to the point. Matt LaFleur did say he wanted Rodgers back. This is something I'll get more into the offseason. Same thing with Brady if the rumors continue to heat up. I would say that there's more of a likely chance that Rodgers leaves this season than last year. Because I think the issue was last year was so unexpected. This year it's kind of like, okay, well, they did all this stuff and they still lost. It's like, is this really time? Who knows? I also think Brady's decision hinges a lot on what Davante Adams decides to do. I think Brady's decision in Green Bay decides a lot on the path that the Green Bay Packers and their front office and organization will take. Whether they take the path to continue to compete or they take the path to kind of reset a little bit and restart. Who knows? We'll see. But 13-10 Niners won. And then the Bengals-Titans was the game that got the weekend started all off. Another game. It was ugly at first, 9-6 going into halftime for an offense that was gaining Derrick Henry and for a Bengals offense that we know how good it is. Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times. I mean, 9 times. And, if you are the Bengals going on the road, look, we all knew that, this is the issue. Offense line, right? It's been a big, big issue for the Bengals. Joe Burrow, it's kind of hidden, but he's the second most sacked quarterback in the NFL. So it's hidden, but he's the second most sacked quarterback in the NFL, so it's there. But when he's throwing touchdowns and all this stuff's happening, it's there. But it's kind of hidden. But 9 sacks, he took 9 sacks. So the Bengals need to clean it up. Evan McPherson with the big kick. He told Joe Burrow before he went out there that he's ready to go to the AFC Championship game. Some confidence from the young rookie kicker drafted, I believe, in the 5th round. And for the Titans, it's another year of disappointment. A very weird number 1 seed. A team that I wasn't fully all in on. I think if Derrick Henry was fully healthy, it could be a different game because I definitely think, some of those short yardage situations he could have got. But at the end of the day, the Bengals, again, there's a more talented team. I said that going in. I just think they were the more talented team. They were the team that was just better set up. Like, the Titans were kind of all over the place, but man, oh man, has the Titans' defensive line improved. And I think what the Titans just need is ultimately they need to stay healthy because A.J. Brown was injured. I believe that was the first time. Maybe I'm wrong. It was like either first time or the first time in a long time. A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, and Julio Jones were all on the field together. So you got to hope next year they're healthy. This is the big thing for the Titans. Be healthy next year. Tannehill definitely needs to step up his game. He needs to step up. 3 picks is unacceptable. I know some of them were deflections and stuff, but still. 3 picks is 3 interceptions. I don't care how you put it. Defense is very good. They got the defensive line. Secondary needs, besides Byard in the secondary, they need a little bit more on that, in that secondary. I know they got Jack Rabbit, Janoris Jenkins, but, one thing I know when he, remember when he was with the Giants, he's definitely, he has his moments. He's, he can definitely pick, get picks and stuff, but a lot of times he overruns a lot of things and gets burnt on a lot of mans. I would take someone that's more consistent than him. He's a very boom or bust type corner. The Titans need a little bit more consistency at the corner. They got their defense line down. Now they just need pass rush down. Now they just need a little bit better consistency at the corners. And the Bengals, look, I've said it all along. I'm rolling with the Bengals. I'm rolling on the Bengals bandwagon. Bengals move on to face the Chiefs at Arrowhead. So the two championship games, AFC will be on Saturday 3 Eastern at Arrowhead Stadium. It is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals, and the NFC Championship game in SoFi. Could we get back-to-back years where the home team is the hosting the stadium that is hosting a Super Bowl is the home team stadium? Could we get the Rams at their home stadium in the Super Bowl like we saw last season with the Bucs? We'll see. All right. Anyway, so 4 really good games, and now we look ahead to the AFC and NFC Championship games on Sunday. Alrighty, so let's wrap this podcast up here. Today we got we'll get to NBA first, only 4 games on. We got the Cavs Knicks, I'll give Cavs the win. Bulls Thunder, give Bulls the win. Pelicans Pacers, give Pelicans the win. And Suns Jazz, I'll give Suns the win. And as for the NHL, we got a good amount of games on tonight. Bruins Ducks, I'll give Bruins the win. Capitals Golden Knights, give Capitals the win. Stars Flyers, give Stars the win. Wild Canadians, give Wild the win. Avalanche Blackhawks, give Avalanche the win. Flames Blues, give Flames the win. Rangers also play tonight. Rangers are on against the Kings. Rangers come into this game 27-11-4. Kings come into this game 21-16-5. The over/under is set at 5.5. This game is on today, 7 p.m. Eastern on MSG+. 78% of people think the Rangers will win. Give me the Rangers. At home against the Kings, I will take the Rangers. 2 good college basketball games on tonight. One really good one. Kansas, Texas Tech. Kansas coming off an almost upset against Kansas State. But give me Kansas at home. And USC, Arizona State, I'll give USC the win. And then quickly here, fantasy basketball. And I'm going to wrap up this Monday edition of the podcast. If it would load. All right, here we go. So, fantasy basketball. All right, so I won last week, so that extends my win streak to 5 straight games. Let's see, a little slow. All right, so extends my win streak to 5 straight games. I won 1,497 to 710. And today I've got going Darius Garland, Brandon Ingram, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Donovan Mitchell. Injury updates, Brandon Ingram is out. Must be new update here. A little slow. This fantasy app's not really working great. Ingram ankle has been ruled out for Monday's game against the Pacers. Aaron Summers of Bally Sports New Orleans reports. So he's out. And Donovan Mitchell as well. Mitchell concussion has been ruled out Monday against the Suns. Tony Jones of The Athletic reports. So hopefully these guys come back soon. Definitely big parts of the team. Alrighty, so by the way, did you see this? The Panthers officially hired Ben Mcadoo as their offensive coordinator. I don't know who's going to be the quarterback there, but you got to feel bad for Sam Darnold. I mean, God, what has happened to him is just Ben McAdoo. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. Anyway, that'll do it for the podcast here today. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, only 30 minutes today. Like I said, due to timing. Tomorrow I'll be back at it with a full podcast. MLB, there is some positives with the meeting. They had a meeting today. Supposedly it went well. So tomorrow they're going to have another meeting. And maybe we get a deal. We'll see. But progress was made. So, want to get to that and much more. Lot to get to. Head coaching, Giants with their coaching rumors. A lot going on with the NFL and, all around sports, some Rangers stuff. So, lots of news to get to. Cover it throughout the week. As always, I'll see you all, guys. I'll see you all back here tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.